Good day to you. This is ANAGALACTIC bringing you the first in our production quality presentation of a brand new mathematics system and geometry and really logic system, all of which has been partially discovered but never isolated such that we could take the course that nature herself intended for mankind to take. However, nature is funny this way, and we went back to Euclid to see what nature told Euclid. Nature is real. Not everybody has learned that to the same degree. Now, we're not popular, and we're not many, and we never have been. And I failed when I was a religious man to turn anybody on with anything, even though I actually deciphered the Tetragrammaton and tried to give it to 3 different churches and got something shoved up my ass by all 3 churches. I was actually excommunicated by one church for simply telling them the name of the creator of the universe. Now, that's a hot topic these days because, of course, science, which would be Satan if there were such a thing as Satan, science is standing up on its hind legs. It's evolved far enough. It's come out of the mud, and it's ready to bark at the stars now. And so anybody who joins with science that way is satanic. And it doesn't make any difference what you think about that. I'm telling you the way things actually are, because no one else will. And that's why I am highly offensive. Much more offensive than any of these fuck-headed comedians, such as Ricky Gervais, who's a... And I think you know what I think of entertainers and religious people. I don't even talk about politicians anymore. 99.9% of humans that you can see, they're idiots. Most of them are cannibals. But there is, according to the great plan of the designer, there is a residue that's left over after all of the evolution and all of the standing up on the hind legs and barking at the stars, just barking at the stars. There are some men who have a rare combination of luck, pure luck. That would be, I'm talking about myself now, but I'm not alone. There are about, at any time in history, there are about 144,000 of us. No more than that. That's the law of the universe, which you're never going to understand. So I'm just going to tell you, just see if I could, if you don't like it, that serves my purpose, because I'm torturing you. If you don't get what I say, I want it to hurt you. If you don't believe what I say, I want to make sure it stings. Okay? So there are about 144,000 righteous men, absolutely pure men, with the usual yin-yang balance. For instance, I am not pure, okay? But in the eyes of the good Lord, the great designer, according to what science has discovered, and nobody wants to admit anymore because they're busy standing up on their hind legs and barking at the stars. For money! They do it for money! All right? So Richard Dawkins is, once you peel back the layers of guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Greene, oh my God, Sean Carroll, the fag boy, Brian Greene, the fake man. Oh, most of these men are Jews. I hope you know that. Jews. Oh, yeah. You know, Jews were supposed to be the leaders of the world. And now, God hates them. Did you know that? God hates the Jews. You'd better not, though. God can hate anybody he wants. You can't. You don't have the strength or power to go up against supernatural power like the Creator. So let's turn back to science. Did Euclid believe in God? Do you have any idea? We don't know much about Euclid. We do know some bits of information about the Greeks of the time of Jesus H. Christ. Finally, someone was able to discover the full name of the Lord Jesus, or the Lord Christ, or whatever you call him. It's Jesus H. See, nobody knew there was an H in there. So it's Jesus H. Christ. What about the fucking Greeks? Do they learn anything? Actually, they were the first. The first Christians were Jews for fairly obvious reasons. It wasn't just the Jews who murdered Jesus. It was also the first Jews who were Jesus. It says only one could be Jesus. The rest tried to be followers of Jesus. But all of them were Jews. And Greeks, I can tell you on the authority of good, powerful science, that the Greeks are not Jews, okay? And the Jews are not Greeks. So, what is the story with Euclid? You know, I think you may have a slight glimpse behind the curtain here, just in this brief rant, that Euclid was demonic. So let's make sure we understand on what footing the charlatans of today base their great self-worth and prideful satanic importance, such that they think they can get away with murder by guiding the entire generation of humans into the shit pit, blind and naked and stupid, because they're so stupid, all they know how to do is be greedy. So everybody thinks Euclid is great. I don't. And I'm the only one who has an opinion that matters. Euclid was a devil. And now I'm going to tell you exactly why. Euclid destroyed civilization. It's almost over. Mankind never achieved any fraction of the destiny that he could have had there been any wisdom in the world at all, other than the 144,000 who will be saved and nobody else. And if you don't like that, fuck you! Okay? So this is to make sure that you have a choice. You don't have to believe me. I recommend that you understand I'm putting on a show here. It's to make sure that you have a choice. Because unless you exercise your free will pretty soon, you're not going to make it. And if you think Euclid justifies science because Euclid got the most perfect geometry in the world, no, he didn't. So to wrap this up, at under 15 minutes, here's the first lesson in Unimetrics that you're going to get, even if I have to pry your fucking mouth open and shove it down your throat. Euclid began with a point, and that's a mistake. Okay? So Euclid began incorrectly. And everything after that, the entire book of elements, worshipped. It's more powerful than the Bible, you understand. Because Euclid said a point is that which has zero dimension. I'm putting it into modern terms. A zero-dimensional object? That man is an idiot. That is not what a point is, and that destroys any hope of getting the correct geometry so that when mankind would discover the universe, he might actually be able to get some of it right. This is so powerful, what I discovered, that's so much better than what Euclid discovered, that had Euclid known what I'm going to tell you now, he might have gotten it right and changed the course of history, and we would have understood the universe at about the time that Jesus H. Christ was walking the earth. But Euclid couldn't quite get it. Because the Greeks are primitive, backwards, stupid, jackass people. However, the Greeks were foremost in spreading Christianity. So don't ever believe a big windbag, even if it's me, myself. Don't ever be carried away with a man's emotion or power or whatever he does with his fists. Don't be swayed. What I'm trying to give you is the capability of putting yourself on the foundation that's going to hold. And I know that's actually sounds scriptural. So the correct definition of the point has eluded man to this day, and to this day nobody knows what the point actually is. Except one man does. I do. So the point that began, that's what Euclid began with. The very first sentence is his definition of the point. And in the second definition, which is of the line, it becomes clear why he defined the point the way he did. It's because he wanted to have a definition of the line that would have points on it. That's why he defined the point first, incorrectly. It's because he wanted to use the line. Did he? Yes. He used the line. And what's the line? Did Euclid get that right? No. No, he did not get that right either. So he began with a jackass, ass-backwards definition of a point, which destroyed any hope of getting the correct mathematics. And then he defined the line according to his stupid-ass definition of the point. And that destroyed any hope of getting the correct geometry. So Euclid is Satan from a scientific point of view. And I'm Jesus Christ of science. But if you think that you're going to crucify me, try it! And that's the end of Euclid. He got the point wrong. And he got the line wrong. And he got everything after that consistently wrong. So what is the correct definition of the point? The correct definition of the point is, first of all, you're not trying to get a line. Euclid didn't start with a point. He started with the line. And the only reason he started with a point just before the line was so that he could define the line as points. That's called quantization. And that's where we get the quantum paradox from. It's Euclid's fault that we have the quantum paradox. And it's Euclid's fault, ultimately, that we have the Big Bang heresy. And I'm here to overturn the money changers' tables. And that's 18 minutes. I had an extremely bad day because my site at ANAGALACTIC.SPACE, even though I've been paying for it, although not using it for over a year, I just told everybody that it was working because I checked it and I saw that I could change something. But unfortunately, Hostinger, who hosts my site, has lost all my files. So there's no way to build it out unless I want to put everything on one page. There's no directory structure. There's no cPanel for those of you who know how to do this. Then I found out some other bad shit. And that's all you need to know. That's why I'm screaming. Extremely upset. But since now I'm a pro-scientist who's telling you the truth and correcting the errors of modern science with a religious angle, you think I'm not like a cat on a hot tin roof? From now on, I'm going to be edgy as shit. And I might break into screeching at any time. Don't count on it, because I can't sustain this for very long. I'm a very easygoing man. However, I'm also a genius, probably a polymath, and I love life. I just love life. I don't like it that I'm very close to 70 and I don't have my wife with me. For the past 15 years, I've been without my wife. I don't like it here. I certainly don't like you. But my Creator does. So while I'm alive and breathing, I'm gonna fuck you up the ass until you fucking get it straight. Euclid is an asshole. Linear algebra is dead. And if you don't listen to me, you're going to hell. We'll be right back. This is Anagalactic. Stay tuned. I can't even think why you would, but do it anyway, because I'm never wrong.